I am Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Political Twitter ads in India now come with a warning. Selfie stupidity leads to big cat attack. The cat is fine, by the way. Plane crash in Ethiopia raises questions about safety of a new Boeing jet. And jumping for your likes in animals doing stuff. Well, at the top of our newsfeed, Twitter in India. Now, the world's biggest democracy will hold huge elections in a few months' time. So, Twitter, keen to avoid any more bad headlines in relation to how their platform operates there, is bringing in a new policy from today. Here's Nia to explain.
There's exactly 1 month to go for elections in India, where there'll be roughly 900 million eligible voters, out of which 2/3 are reportedly believed to have access to social media and internet on their phones and at homes, which is why how political parties will engage with this vote bank is something that's closely being monitored here in India. It's why Twitter has promised to launch ad transparency ahead of the elections. It says starting March 11th, only certified advertisers will be allowed to run political campaign ads on its service. This means when you see a tweet that is a political ad campaign, it will clearly be labeled as such. You'll know which party has paid for it, how much they've paid for it, what was the intended demographic they wanted to target, and what was the actual impact of that particular political ad. Now, many like Ipshita have welcomed this move. She's saying it's a great step in the right direction, enabling political transparency in the world's largest democracy. You've got Chad making a similar comment saying this is a great job, Twitter, this is a big deal. But others like Sushil are raising questions. They're questioning what's going to happen with that entire data that Twitter is now storing on its databases. He says this means that data feeding is in progress and system is ready with the user behavioral pattern and political graph, because you'll be able to know what kind of a political ad has had an impact on which group in the country. And he's questioning how parties might be able to use it as well, and saying when election manifesto in itself is not transparent, how can political advertisements be? And someone like Nikhil Pava is also raising questions about areas that are not covered by such a ad transparency policy that Twitter has launched. He's saying, what about paid influencer campaigns? What happens to those people who agree to accept cash in order to make certain hashtags trend or tweet in favor of a political party? This is something we saw in India last month, where several people were caught in a sting operation promising to tweet favorably in favor of one party if they were paid in cash. He's also saying what happens to other ad networks. This particular policy does not cover smaller networks like Taboola, Outbrain in India, and he's wondering whether there will be a shift from Twitter to these kind of platforms where there is no compulsion to reveal how much you're paying for an ad campaign and who you're aiming to target with that particular outreach.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other things that have caught our eye on social media. Now, a VHS tape said to show the singer R. Kelly abusing girls has been given to prosecutors in New York. The tape was apparently found by a man called Gary Dennis, who was cleaning out his home when he came upon it. He thought it was video of a concert. It was not. Robert Kelly denies it's him in the tape. He faces 10 charges of sexual assault not connected with the allegations that now surround this latest bit of video.
What are shapeshifters?
Prove you're not a scroll.
That's a photon blast.
And?
A scroll cannot do that.
I'm just supposed to take your word for that.
Well, something to smile about. Captain Marvel made box office records this weekend, but a controversy that's been around since the film's trailer was released is also back in the headlines. When it first came out, there was some online outrage from people who we'll call haters, who said that Brie Larson, the film's lead, didn't smile enough in the movie. Yes, Larson says she's not surprised by the comment. It's normal for women to be told they don't smile enough. Well, in response, she turned the tables, sharing these images of male superheroes smiling on her gram, and of course, they look ridiculous. A Turkish Airlines flight hit severe turbulence over the US on the weekend. 30 people were hurt. A flight attendant's leg was broken. It all happened 45 minutes from landing in New York. The plane came down safely and those hurt were taken to hospital in waiting ambulances. People on board reported being tossed around the cabin as the turbulence began. And staying with plane stories, passengers are now questioning what danger they're in when they board a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Another one crashed in Ethiopia over the weekend, the second of its kind to come down in just 5 months. It's the first time a new model jet has had 2 fatal accidents within the first year of its service. Airlines around the world will now have to decide if their 737 MAX is safe. Here's Adama.
It's Boeing's newest jet and has been in commercial use since 2017. The MAX 8 holds 210 passengers. It's mostly used for short and medium distance flights and has a longer range than earlier versions of the 737. According to the company, it's their fastest selling plane, with nearly 4,700 orders from more than 100 customers. This plane was one of 6 aircrafts purchased by Ethiopian Airlines last June.
We are deeply saddened again, and we express our deepest sympathies and condolences to the families, friends, and relatives of our bereaved passengers. There is no cause that we can attribute at this time, but as you know, it is international practice that international investigators, Ethiopian civil aviation investigators, and also from the aircraft manufacturer from the US, the NTCB will be participating in the investigation.
Boeing released a statement on Sunday saying,
Boeing is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of the passengers and crew on Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 A737 MAX 8 airplane. We extend our heartfelt sympathies to the families and loved ones of the passengers and crew on board and stand ready to support the Ethiopian Airlines team.
But controversy surrounding MAX 8 jets isn't new. Last October, all 189 people on board another MAX 8, run by Indonesia's Lion Air, went down shortly after takeoff in Jakarta. It's too early to say what the causes of Sunday's crash are, but the Lion Air investigators say both planes faced similar complications at takeoff, which led to sudden nosedives. In response to Sunday's crash, China's Aviation Authority has followed Ethiopian Airlines and Cayman Airways in grounding its MAX 8 jets. The order will last 9 hours from 9 a.m. local Beijing time. Fly Dubai says, whilst safety is its first priority, it remains confident in the capability of MAX 8 jets. But with 2 crashes in just 5 months and many unanswered questions, is Boeing doing enough to ensure passenger safety?
Now, 2 people who work for the Immigration Service in the US are being investigated for Islamophobia after they liked and shared some lies about Ilhan Omar. Now, she is one of only 2 Muslim congresswomen, and as well as being attacked online for being Muslim and a woman, she's accused of being an anti-Semite.
And to accuse somebody of being anti-Semitic because they oppose the occupation of Palestine or the oppression of a people and accuse them of being anti-Semitic is revolting, unacceptable, and it hurts us. We find this so terrible. It's such a tragedy, a travesty of justice, what's being done to her.
Next, President Donald J. Trump of America has changed the law his country has on reporting when his military kills civilians in drone strikes. Human rights groups and international law experts are outraged. Let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Monday. Now, people who like to wear Make America Great hats are using a new app to try and find places to eat where they can expect not to be questioned about their political beliefs. The app's called 63 Red Safe and asks users to ask 4 questions of a business, including, will this business protect its customers if they are attacked for political reasons? And will this business allow a person to legally carry a concealed weapon? People will then score the business based on results. The makers of the app say people who wear MAGA hats need help and protection when out shopping and eating. Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel is the nation-state of Jewish people and Jewish people only. He seems to have forgotten the 17% of the population who are Arab and other minority groups. He was responding to a post by an Israeli actor who was critical of some of the hardline, divisive rhetoric of Netanyahu's party. Bibi's comments drew a response from the actor Gal Gadot, who praised the original poster's original sentiment. And Venezuela's president says that cyber attacks from the US and sabotage from opposition groups are responsible for his country's power grid going down. The country's main hydroelectric plant has been offline since at least Thursday. Attempts to restart the plant have been unsuccessful and have led to further damage to the grid. Thousands of measles vaccines are being express delivered to New Zealand's South Island after an outbreak of the virus. There have been 20 confirmed cases and health authorities warn that number will rise. Measles cases have been spiking this year, and one factor pointed to by the World Health Organization is vaccine hesitancy. That's when a person does not vaccinate their children because of misplaced concerns about vaccines' safety and efficiency. Now, this cuneiform stone tablet was discovered by customs staff in the UK. It's Babylonian and it's from the 2nd millennium BC. It is very old and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was apparently being smuggled to Britain after being looted from Iraq. The UK government say they'll give it back to the Iraqi government. Now, a woman who climbed over a barrier to try and get a selfie next to a jaguar at a zoo in Arizona got her arm mauled. The animal will not be put down. The woman's in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, the zoo had to issue this tweet that says the jaguar will not be killed after social media blew up with messages saying that the woman was at fault for getting too close to the big cat. And last up, a video of a lamb in a corridor jumping in the air has gone viral. Take a look. This clip of a lamb leaping has been watched more than 100,000 times. It seems to be copying the woman in the blue scrubs. It comes with the caption, "Happiness is contagious," and that it's impossible not to smile. Some clicking from our producer, Caroline, found out that the lamb was at an adoption centre, and hopefully it's now gone on to a good home. And that's all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter and YouTube, and you can follow me on Instagram. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.